Hey, what's up? It's J. Lucky Henry, and today we're going to talk about the appraisal. What is an appraisal? This is J. Lucky Henry, Keller Williams agent in the greater Boston area. You won't believe how many people need to get real, R-E-A-L, real estate explained amazingly by Lucky in 90 seconds, give or take. Welcome back. It's J. Lucky Henry. Today we're going to talk about the appraisal. So, an appraisal is typically used after an offer has been made on a property, and this property is typically being financed. So, who is doing the appraisal? Most of the time, appraisals are ordered by the bank or the institution financing the purchase of this home. So, again, we talked about CMAs and BPOs, right? So, let's say the CMA or BPO was used to determine the list price. Now, what has to happen is after the buyer has determined they're willing to pay X for the property, if they're financing, this institution needs to determine, is the property worth what you're attempting to pay for it? Because if you default on your payments, guess who now owns that property? And if we're willing to give you $300,000 for a house that's only worth $150,000, we're not going to be able to recoup our money. This is the bank talking. So an appraisal is used by the bank. They hire their own appraisers, send them out to evaluate and make sure that the property being financed is worth the amount they're willing to lend out. Sometimes in situations, it doesn't appraise out. In sellers markets, bidding wars can get really high, and if any of these terms are unfamiliar, there'll be video links you can get familiar with to understand this conversation. But bidding wars can get really high, and they can actually be way too high in some cases. And people still want to buy the house, and they offer, let's say, $100,000 over, but the bank comes in and says, "That's nice that you offer that, right? $500,000 for a house that's worth $400,000. So we're only going to give you $400,000. If you want the remaining $100,000, you either have to come up with it yourself, or if you really want the house, talk to the seller to lower it down." So appraisals can be another one of those contingencies that can cause a deal to fall apart. Sometimes on the seller side, you have the agent recommends that, hey, we should make sure that all offers explicitly state that should the house not appraise out at the right amount, they are going to cover the difference. And sometimes on a buyer side, you definitely want to put in that if this doesn't appraise out, we are now no longer obligated to purchase this property. So appraisals are important. They help define whether a deal is going to go through or not. But again, an appraisal, just like a CMA and just like a BPO, are not to be confused with fair market value. Fair market value is what you are willing to pay for it. So, like I said, if the house is only worth $400,000, but you're willing to pay $500,000 for it, that's fair market value. The appraisal is just what the bank is willing to finance for it. So tomorrow we're going to come back with another word, right? Another way to determine value of a property. Well, actually, you'll just have to watch tomorrow's video to find out. This is J. Lucky Henry, and I'm here to keep it real with you. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call or text 978-712-0244, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more.